Hey, what's up, y'all? We back with the 540 Radio Show. I still have Miss Debra Carter here with me. We were just looking at, what's the name of the test again for everybody?
It is the implicit association test.
Okay. And can people find the link to that on Facebook?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
It's a couple posts down, but on Black Lives Matter RoanokeVA,
Okay.
I posted the link to it.
Gotcha.
And I'm willing to post my results if you're willing to post yours.
I think it would be a good thing and interesting to see what people come up with. I want to take it and see what it says about myself. But Deborah, we were just talking about, growing up in an environment where you really don't get to see many other cultures, or people of different complexions and from different backgrounds. At the end of the day, we're all of the human race. We come from different parts of the planet, and maybe we may speak a little different and do things traditionally a little different. But if you look at each and every one of us, it's not a whole lot of difference. And science has proven genetically there's not a whole lot of difference. I'm the type of person, I believe racism exists because it's been created, and the boundaries between the races and different ethnic groups is simply the boundaries that we create as people, not necessarily anything that should be really, a factor for real. But it certainly is a living condition in the world that we all have to face at some time. And, when you said growing up in your city at home, it was a regular thing, until, well, let's talk about your experience at Job Corps, though. So the small town white girl gets plunged into an environment that is majority black, is predominantly black. How was that for you?
That was, at first it was uncomfortable.
Okay, I could imagine.
It was uncomfortable, and that's where I first learned about weaves.
Okay.
I go into.
Did you ever try a hair weave for yourself, a little extension?
No, I didn't. No. No, because I can just color my hair or get it permed and curly, which now it's naturally curly. I don't know where it came from.
But what were some of the other, feelings that came about with that?
Oh, God. I'm probably going to come off like prejudiced or something if I say this.
I mean, you just speak it openly, honestly, from the heart. I mean, this was you back then at 24. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure you've grown an awful lot since then. But back then at 24, Deborah felt like
they were coming out of the woodwork.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up down there in Florida. We had roaches everywhere. So you turn off the lights, they come out everywhere.
Okay.
And I mean, not to associate blacks with roaches. I'm so not doing that. But just seeing so many people in one area that were not my own people.
Right.
That is what I mean by they were coming out of the woodworks. Because I'm like, oh my God.
Every which way you turn, it's more and more brown skin right there in your face.
But that was the first time I had my first black boyfriend.
Okay.
Well, several.
You know what they say, once you go black,
you never go back.
Okay. Is that why you're here protesting Black Lives Matter in Roanoke, Virginia?
Damn right.
Okay.
Damn right.
Because, I mean, I would imagine that was a great learning experience for you, being plunged into that situation and having to deal with it and to adapt and to get to know a race of people that you've never personally got to know. You've only heard stories about and why you shouldn't like them.
I mean, there's only like a handful when I was going to school.
Uh-huh.
I mean, seriously, there was a handful of black students.
Okay.
I remember one guy's name, and that's about it.
So I'm pretty sure, you had a lot of assumptions and stereotypes of how black people act and conduct themselves.
Well, I also got thrown into another completely different culture, although I do have some Native Indian in me. But,
okay.
I'm mainly snowflake white.
Okay.
But my mom had moved me to Minnesota, and I finished out my 6th grade up on the Indian reservation.
Okay.
And natives, even though there are white natives, true full-blooded natives
okay.
are racially biased towards us white ones.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've gotten it from all sides.
Which, I mean, and it's good, though, to get those different perspectives.
A root shock.
Yeah, basically. Definitely. But, so after being there after a while and seeing that, okay, this is where I'm going to have to be, I'm going to have to adapt to this environment. What did you start to lose some of those stereotypes, or did you see a lot of what you had been taught?
That's where it gets sticky for a white person. Seriously. 'Cause you go by what you hear on the news.
Right.
You go by what you're taught at home. And it's like, well, no wonder they think of y'all like that.
Okay.
But then they'd have these throwdown rap sessions out in the courtyard, and it was just awesome to see them, go out there and just do that.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you talk that fast?
And you have to be good to be crafty with words, and you have to know a little something about English and wordplay to really be able to rap well.
Yeah, I mean, a group of them get together and they were good.
Okay.
And there's this one guy there, and he was so hilarious. I'm like, you are definitely the next, I just forgot his name. Nope. Eddie something.
Eddie Griffin?
No, the real funny dude. Coming to America.
Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like, you're
sorry, y'all, I'm an Eddie Griffin fan.
I'm like, you are going to be the next Eddie Murphy.
Well, okay.
But...
Oh, speaking of Minnesota, man, shout out to my man Kevin Kramer, C4, The Bomb Factory. Y'all be sure to check them out, man. Real good music. But back to the conversation at hand. So now you're there and you're seeing a lot of the stereotypes that you've been seeing on the news and been taught. Which, I mean, honestly, I live right in the neighborhood, born and raised. So yeah, a lot of that is in our neighborhood. Without a doubt, crime, domestic violence, just black on black violence, nasty attitudes, disrespectful attitudes. Just, it's a lot of negativity in our community.
But you got it in the white side too.
Right.
You got
definitely.
Your meth labs. I mean, the town I moved from Tennessee. They've busted quite a few meth labs, and they're all white.
Okay.
Let me say this. Mass school shooters, and all but one has been white. What the hell is wrong with the white people?
Okay. The world, period, it's a lot. It's so much going on in the world from so many angles right now. I remember my own experience going to work in a small town that was mostly white. And I remember the looks I used to get when I started to work down there from the adults, the children, as if they had never seen a black person before in their lives. But, I was working for a small company, great place to be, and I thank God for the opportunity because I learned an awful lot getting to work there when it was a small company, and through the years they grew to be a multi-million-dollar a year company. Actually, what gave me the inspiration to pursue going into business for myself. But one thing I learned and saw firsthand during that transition was they broke the law as well, an awful lot, for a lot more money than most every drug dealer I know. But in that small town, in their community, they were the church. They were the most upscale family. Yes, the family you should look to as the example for everyone. But behind the scenes, let's just say the feds would have had a field day with that one. And that let me know that, man,
shit's fucked up and bullshit.
It is a lot of politics and bullshit in the world. But and it opened my eyes and made me look at things a lot different. That you can say what you want, feel how you want about the black community. Because honestly, wherever there's poverty, it's going to be crime, and it's going to be violence. It's going to be a lot of bad things there. Because anytime people are struggling for resources just to be able to eat, just to have a roof over their head, just to have clothes on their back, that creates a lot of desperation, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger that you see. I would say my early years, I probably witnessed more black-on-black violence. Was a victim of more black-on-black violence than, I would see from white people. Then, than I would get from white people. But at the same time, growing up in poverty, I did my fair share of crime and violence as well. And it's a horrible melting pot for that. It breeds right wherever there's poverty, wherever there's a lack of resources, for people to just live comfortably. There's going to be problems.
I mean, I personally myself have always been afraid to really break the law.
Okay.
Because my uncle was a cop.
Oh, well, I can imagine.
And I didn't want to bring that shame to him.
Right.
Because just that respect I had for him.
Mm-hmm.
And when Occupy Wall Street got real big.
Okay, I remember that. It even came here to the Star City.
I had a civil war within myself.
Okay.
Because with my uncle, I had that blanket, utmost respect for every man in blue.
Okay.
Because they're guys just like my uncle.
Right.
And somebody wants to call you.
Yes, it's Saturday. And it's the holidays. A lot going on today.
But then I started witnessing all of these cops just beating on people, tear gassing them, spraying them, pepper spray, rubber bullets, using the LRADs, and I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, wow. Hold on, y'all. We're going to get to the music real quick, and then we'll come right back and pick up on that. Because I want to know how seeing that side of the law, how that made you feel. So y'all stay tuned right here to the 540 radio show. It's your man Randy Riggs and Miss Debra Carter